Thank you. Please be seated. Excuse me if I have any failings today. This is my first time to be in the presence of so many intimidating uniformed officers. Let me first greet the persons in attendance. My good friend, Secretary Anton Lagdameo. He is the closest to the President as far as physical distance is concerned. Kung minsan tinatawag ko siyang vampira dahil malapit nang dumugo ang tenga ni Presidente sa kalapitan ng kanyang pagbubulong. Of course, our newly installed General Andres Centino, Chief of Staff. I am given to understand that this is his second stint as Chief of Staff, which is a rare occurrence in the armed forces. The Honorable outgoing Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Bartolome Vicente Bacaro, and Mrs. Boots Bacaro, and the family of Lieutenant General Bacaro. Major General Arthur Cordura, Vice Chief of Staff, Vice Admiral Romel Anthony Reyes, the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Command Sergeant Major Rogelio Obilio. Yes, sir. The major service commanders, of course, Lieutenant General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Major General Stephen Pareño, Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, and Rear Admiral Toribio Adasi, Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy. Colonel Daniel Tansip, Acting Chief Chaplain Service. Do we get to appoint you as Chief Chaplain? Or it is the... I used to be a seminarian also at some other time. Members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, brave soldiers all, good morning to you all. I must confess that I did not know what to say today because this is really the first time I will come in the presence of so many gallant men and women, and to preside no less at the change of command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. I am familiar with the Armed Forces of the Philippines on a limited scale. My father served in the last World War, and he retired as a major in the Armed Forces, Philippine Army, because he was part of the Medical Corps. His last assignment was in Libis, the engineering brigade over there. But I and my siblings do not know anything at all about the military life because we never grew up in a camp. Our father was not a professional soldier. That is what I wanted to say. But today, this morning, I am much impressed by how you respect tradition. The change of command is a tradition that should remain with you forever. Let me go to thanking Lieutenant General Bacaro. I have not known too much about Bob Bacaro, but I have heard of his bravery, of his exploits in the battlefield. He is, in fact, a Medal of Valor recipient. And the President always mentions that to us, to show him the highest respect and regard because of his gallantry in action because of his achievements in the battlefield. The President, as you know, was a part of the Special Forces. He undertook training in his prime. He's still in his prime, of course. But he really sees the worth of a soldier who has sacrificed a lot. We see that soldier today in the departing Chief of Staff, General Bacaro. I also would like to acknowledge with gratitude the support of Mrs. Boots Bacaro and the children of Lieutenant General Bacaro. I know that without your support, without your abiding presence by his side, he would not have had this opportunity to make great sacrifices for our country. Thank you, Madam Boots and the family. Let me assure you that the President, as the Commander-in-Chief, always remembers, always takes into serious and good account all your personal and professional qualifications and your loyalty to the flag and the Constitution whenever he ponders on who or how you would go up the ladder of leadership in this massive organization that we know as the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Secretary Lagdameo and I and the other people who work under the office of the President always have this reminder from the President to give preeminence and priority to those who merit the promotions or to those who have given much of themselves to the service of our country. Now, as I told you a while back, I was impressed, much impressed by your exhibition of obeisance to a great and hallowed tradition of change of command. The civilian side of our country needs that kind of change of command tradition. Mabuti na lang na hanggang ngayon, wala pang nangyayari na umaayaw tumanggap ng resulta ng eleksyon sa ating bayan na kagaya sa Amerika yung nangyayari doon. Napakahirap ang ganyang pangyayari kung yan man ay magaganap sa ating bayan. So continue with this tradition where you respect each other, where you give so much consideration to the qualifications of your fellow officers in order to enable your organization, the AFP, to move forward instead of looking back. This tradition is worth emulating by the civilian sector of the population. And I will remember this moment and will, of course, look back to this occasion as that beacon light in order to guide smoother transitions in the civilian and political sectors of our society. As I said, I was not ready with a speech, and I spoke from the heart, and I really would like to end now. I am sure that every one of you, you know your oaths of office, you have expressed and practiced your loyalty to the Constitution and to the flag. Continue on that course. Once again, congratulations to General Centino. As far as Lieutenant General Bacaro is concerned, I don't think that this is going to be the end of his public life. We are going to give true value to your achievements, and we will always remember your service and sacrifices for the country. Rest assured of that, Lieutenant General Bacaro. Thank you all, and good morning again.
Once again, thank you very much to our presiding officer, the Executive Secretary, the Honorable Lucas P. Bersamin.